Hey guys, Dave here, Silver Diamond Ranch. Today I just want to give you a little tour of the grow room. It's nothing fancy, just a room down the basement, and nobody comes down here but me. I got a couple of these T5 lights, and I tell you what, they work out really well. And prime example is growing up, my uncle down at my grandma's had a greenhouse, and that thing, you know, it worked real good, except when you wanted to grow Dahlias or Losianthus or flowers like that you needed to start them in January or December. And this really saves, because while heating a whole greenhouse it costs a lot of money, and for 1 or 2 flats, when you can get hundreds of flowers in a flat, especially begonias. And so anyway, if you're thinking about it, man, it's a great way to get your stuff started early. And personally, if I save money, I feel like that's money that I've made. So on the garden, I won't spend a penny on plants. And I've already done, you know, a video about the seed saving. And what I forgot to talk about on that video was there's these seed swapping sites, and literally any kind of swapping you want to do, or any kind of, the only money I've ever paid for a seed is in the last 2 years is a stamp to swap somebody out. So other than that, I guess we'll go ahead and take a closer look at things. Okay guys, right here we pretty much got some dahlias in the back, and what I'm trying to do, cheat the system a little bit. These dahlias come tubers. If you want blooms the first year, you can plant them from seeds, but you ain't gonna get blooms the first year. So I got one tuber, grew it out, took a bunch of cuttings off of it, and I'm trying to cheat the system. And as these things get bigger, I just come and cut them back, because they're cut and come again flowers, so it don't matter if you. And then what I cut off, I use is dip them in root tone and water, and try to get some more cuttings off of them. And what we got here, we got some of the hot peppers, Carolina Reapers, Ghost. These things sell pretty good on eBay, and that's my intent with these. I'm going to probably sell all of them but a couple of each, and that's what I'll save for my seeds from next year. And then I do have some dahlias back there planted from seed, but they haven't came up yet, so we're just waiting on for them to pop up. Over here, I got eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is a tree, and it will not last a winter here in Louisville, Kentucky. It'll die, but it'll grow pretty fast in the meantime. And it's a lot of people like it for a dual purpose filler on bouquets, and then it does have the medicinal purposes. So I'm going to plant about half of these outside and probably sell the rest of them. And there's good old green onions. I just grow them to eat. That's better than going and buying them at the store. Some more dahlias. Some more green onions started, just haven't came up yet. Now back here I got some paper whites. And basically I just bought these on sale after Christmas, and they had them marked down to 50 cents, and I didn't have nothing much growing down here, and I wanted to pretty the place up, so I got some paper whites. Now these here are Losianthus, and they look identical to roses, and this is the main reason you need a grow room, is for flowers like this if you're going to plant flowers. These things have been planted about a month, and you can see how big they are. They're very, very small. And it takes a while to get these guys growing. Now, over here, I got a big bulletin board, and I'm supposed to write all this stuff down and dates and key things. And you can see where I wrote the peppers down. That way I know. I got my red wigglers on 28th of December. And now we're moving over to this grow table. I got a whole row out in the field of rosemary. So I keep a plant down here and take cuttings off of it. And then I distill the oil off of it. And it's one of the best all-natural pesticides you can use. Bugs hate it. And then back there I've got my sweet potatoes, which was my first video, and believe it or not, these things I've already sold quite a few of them. And there's some more of the sweet potato cuttings. Now over here is a whole flat of my cold crops. These are got about another week, and I'll up pot them, and then maybe another week or two, and I'm gonna put them out into a little high tunnel plastic. So 72 plants, probably. There's a few in there that didn't come up, but at least 50 plants will pretty much fill this whole table up. There's just some of my stuff. These mortar mixing pails they're some of the most handiest things you can get. They're like $7.50 at Lowe's or Home Depot, and man, it's just one of the best dual purpose things you can get in to have down in your grow room. I pot a lot of plants in it. That way I'm pretty messy, but it saves a little bit. And then over here, these are my worms. These are the man, I cannot emphasize how important these things are. Every bit of fertilizer that I use is from worm castings, and I don't use no city water. I don't buy no water to water my plants with. What I do have down here is a dehumidifier, and that thing actually sucks probably a couple gallons of water out of the air every day. And then down here, this is where I make my worm tea. And this is just a fish tank aerator blowing bubbles. And then you put a little molasses down in there and put 2 or 3 cups of worm castings, and it grows the bacteria that's so beneficial to helping these plants grow and do really good. Now I'm going to make a whole video on these worms, but I'll tell you what, from top to bottom, if you want to sell castings, you can make a ton of money. If you want to sell a tea, you can make a ton of money. If you want to have a beautiful garden, you can have it, and it's all pretty much owed to these worms. And I'm so glad. I just wish I would have got into them earlier. And if you can look real close, these things just pulverize. And they grow super fast, multiply about every 3 months. And other than that, guys, that's the room. Over on the other wall is a bunch of junk you probably don't want to see. This room's a work in progress, and I probably got enough room to hang one more light. I'm not sure if I want a high work table behind me or another light, because last year I just had one light and it worked, and I had plants to sell and I had enough to plant. This year, by adding another light, I should be pretty well loaded with plants in the garden and plants to sell. Thank you, guys.